The world number one has seen it all. Aryna Sabalenka has won 4 Grand Slams, completed the Sunshine Double, and established herself as the most dominant player in women's tennis. But when she walked into the Porsche Arena in Stuttgart, something stopped her. It wasn't the tennis, it was the crowd. Thousands of Filipino fans had transformed the stadium into a sea of red, white, and blue. The chants of "Laban Alex" echoed through the German arena, and Sabalenka stood at the edge of the court, watching, observing, processing. The same player who had just been told by Nike that she would have to wait until 2027 for custom kits. The same champion who had watched as Eala's jersey outsold every other player at the Miami Open. The same competitor who had seen 55,000 fans travel across Europe for a first-round match. And in that moment, something shifted. The crowd reaction changed everything. The balance of power in women's tennis was shifting, and Sabalenka knew it. The Porsche Arena in Stuttgart had never seen anything like it. An estimated 55,000 Filipino fans had descended upon the city, turning the tournament into a celebration of national pride. Hotels were booked solid. Restaurants added adobo to their menus. The chants of "Laban Alex" echoed through the streets. And Aryna Sabalenka watched it all from the player's box. The world number one, who had just completed the Sunshine Double by winning both Indian Wells and Miami, is used to being the center of attention. Wherever she goes, cameras follow. Fans clamor for autographs. The buzz of her presence fills the stadium. But in Stuttgart, the buzz was not for her. Philippine flags dotted the stands. Chants of a name she had heard whispered throughout the tournament echoed through the arena. Thousands of fans packed the Porsche Arena, their voices raised in celebration. They were not there for Sabalenka. They were there for Alex Eala, the 20-year-old Filipino ranked number 45 in the world, who has never won a Grand Slam. When asked about the phenomenon, Sabalenka's reaction was captured by cameras. The world number one, who had seen it all in her career, looked genuinely surprised. "I've never seen anything like this," she reportedly said to a member of her team. "The support for her is incredible. It's like nothing I've ever experienced." The image of Sabalenka watching Eala's practice session, the world number one watching the crowd's favorite, captured in a single frame the strange reality of the Eala effect. The statistics from the Stuttgart Open tell a story that no one could have predicted. The average ticket price for Eala's first-round match against Leylah Fernandez was 400% higher than the tournament average. The official ticket website crashed multiple times. The tournament sold out weeks in advance. But the numbers that truly left Sabalenka speechless were the ones comparing Eala's drawing power to her own. At the Australian Open in January, Eala's pre-tournament press conference drew 196,000 views, more than 6 times the views of Carlos Alcaraz, and nearly 20 times the views of Sabalenka herself. Her first-round match on Court 6 drew queues that wrapped around Melbourne Park, forcing security to turn away hundreds of fans. In Dubai, ticket sales jumped 48% year-on-year, a spike directly attributable to Eala's presence. Tournament director Salah Talak admitted she attracted a new demographic to the tennis, and the stadium was sold out for all her matches. People were desperately trying to get tickets, but they were all gone. We've never seen anything like it. At the Miami Open, Eala's jersey sales accounted for 57% of all merchandise sold, more than every other player in the field combined. The ticket system crashed on the day sales opened, overwhelmed by demand from Filipino fans. Every session featuring Eala sold out within hours. Former pros have taken notice. On the Nothing Major podcast, Sam Querrey posed what would have sounded unthinkable a year ago. Is she the biggest draw in women's tennis right now? Is she bigger than Sabalenka? Is she bigger than Coco? Steve Johnson's answer was blunt. Yes. Dude, it's crazy. The crowd she's getting right now, like all over the world, is insane. To understand why Sabalenka was so affected by the Stuttgart crowd, you have to understand the Eala Effect and why it has eluded the world number one. The Eala Effect, the phenomenon of packed stadiums, crashing ticket systems, and unprecedented fan devotion, had followed the 20-year-old Filipina from Melbourne to Dubai to Miami to Linz, but in Stuttgart, it reached a level that no one could predict. When players come from countries like the Philippines, the stadium feels like a Davis Cup venue. One veteran referee observed earlier this season. People are cheering for their country, not just for one player. That was certainly true in Stuttgart. The Filipino fans who had traveled from across Europe were not just cheering for Eala, they were cheering for the Philippines. They were waving flags, singing songs, celebrating their heritage. The crowd's energy was so intense that even Fernandez, who defeated Eala 6-1, 6-4, acknowledged its impact. After the match, she thanked the crowd for their support, saying, "I'm just glad that I stayed positive as much as possible, and of course, the crowd helped me." Fernandez, herself a left-handed Filipina, later described playing Eala as like playing a mirror. The two left-handers traded angles and counterpunches, creating rallies that required both players to think 2 or 3 shots ahead. But for Sabalenka, watching from the player's box, the match was about something else entirely altogether. It was about the shifting dynamics of women's tennis. It was about a new generation that refused to be intimidated. It was about a crowd that had chosen its champion, and it wasn't her.
Aryna Sabalenka has spent years building her brand, winning titles, and climbing to the top of the rankings. She has won 4 Grand Slams, spent 2 years as world number 1, and dominated the tour like few before her. But the Eala Effect has eluded her, and that has to sting. The numbers are undeniable. Eala's Instagram following has surpassed 850,000, more than double that of established top 20 players like Jessica Pegula, Madison Keys, and Amanda Anisimova. A day-in-the-life video featuring Eala, posted to the BNP Paribas Open official YouTube channel, became the tournament's most viewed content of the entire 2026 event. Eala's autograph was labeled the most wanted at the Porsche Village fan event in Stuttgart. Fans lined up for hours, some presenting her with an Olympic medal to sign. Sabalenka, meanwhile, has been open about her frustrations. After being told by Nike that she would have to wait until 2027 for custom kits, while Eala received custom Sampaguita tributes and signature collections, she joked that fans should start messaging Nike Instagram and putting some pressure on. But the joke couldn't hide the sting. The world number 1 was being treated like an afterthought, while a player ranked number 45 was becoming the face of the sport. The practice court incident in Miami only added to the tension. According to multiple witnesses, Sabalenka confronted Eala over a court scheduling dispute during rain delays. The footage, captured by a fan and shared millions of times, showed the world number 1 gesturing toward Eala, her expression cold, her words sharp. Eala, known for her composure, responded with a look that spoke volumes. She didn't back down, she didn't escalate. She simply continued her practice, refusing to be drawn into a war of words. The incident highlighted the growing tension between the two players and the shifting dynamics of power in women's tennis.
The crowd reaction in Stuttgart was more than just a moment. It was a signal. It was a warning. It was a preview of what awaits at every tournament for the rest of the season. The clay season stretches before both players: Madrid, Rome, and finally, Roland Garros. Eala will compete in the Mutua Madrid Open, April 21 to May 3rd, a WTA 1000 event where she has already secured a direct main draw entry. She is also expected to join the Italian Open, May 6th to 18, before heading to the French Open, May 24th to June 7th. Sabalenka, the defending champion in Madrid, will be the favorite at both tournaments, but the crowd will not be on her side. The Eala Effect is not going away. The Filipino diaspora is not going to stop supporting their hero, and Sabalenka, for all her power and dominance, will have to learn to compete not just against her opponents, but against the crowd. The question is whether she can adapt, whether she can channel the energy against her into focus, whether she can prove that the ranking system still matters, even when the fans have already made their choice. For Eala, the crowd is her secret weapon. The 55,000 fans who traveled to Stuttgart will not abandon her. They will be there in Madrid. They will be there in Rome. They will be there in Paris. They believe in her, and that belief can carry her through the toughest moments. The 3-set battles, the ranking drops.
Aryna Sabalenka watched in disbelief as 55,000 Filipino fans turned the Porsche Arena in Stuttgart into a sea of Philippine flags. The world number 1, who has won 4 Grand Slams and completed the Sunshine Double, found herself playing second fiddle to a player ranked number 45 who has never won a Grand Slam. The Eala Effect, the phenomenon of packed stadiums, crashing ticket systems, and unprecedented fan devotion, had reached new heights. Eala's jersey sales accounted for 57% of all merchandise at the Miami Open. Her press conference at the Australian Open drew 20 times the views of Sabalenka's. And in Stuttgart, 55,000 fans traveled across Europe just to watch her play. Sabalenka has been open about her frustration. After being told by Nike that she would have to wait until 2027 for custom kits, she joked that fans should put some pressure